Hey everybody, this is Christopher Small with CMS Law Firm. We do estate planning, we do probate, we do it well. If you're watching this video, then I'm happy. Thanks for watching. I'm going to drop some knowledge on you here pretty soon. But before I get to that, I always want to let you know up front, if you want to talk about your specific situation, if you have extra questions, if you're just lonely, if you're just lonely, you can do it too. Go to estatemeeting.com. You can set up a time to talk with me over the phone or in person, whichever you prefer, and I'll answer your questions, learn about you and your situation, and give you some ideas for estate planning and probate. So let's dive in though. Enough about that. I get potential clients and clients come into the office all the time with relatively sizable retirement accounts, IRAs, 401ks, things like that, and they are understandably concerned about what can happen when they die and they give those retirement accounts to their beneficiaries. The reason that they are concerned often is because they understand that when someone dies and you give a retirement account to someone, they typically have three options with what they're going to do with that account. Option number one is to liquidate the account. Option number two is to stretch the liquidation over a 5-year period. And option number three is what's called to stretch the IRA over the course of the beneficiary's lifetime. Similar to the way that you would take distributions on your own retirement account, that's what the stretch does, but it extends it out a lot longer because typically the beneficiary, the person receiving those retirement funds, is much younger. The downside to the other two alternatives, the immediate entire distribution and the 5-year distribution, is that for pretty much all of these retirement account assets, they were funded with pre-tax dollars, which means when the money comes out, you are paying income tax on that, or your beneficiary is paying income tax on that. So if you have $1 million IRA, for example, or $1 million for retirement account, 401k, whatever, doesn't matter, and you die, and that retirement account is then given to one of your kids, for example, and they decide to liquidate that account, they are going to pay upwards of 35, 36, 37% income tax on that at the time, which means all of your hard-earned money is going to go to Uncle Sam, which we don't often want to have happen. The same thing, by the way, would happen if they took the 5-year stretch on that same money, because they would be taking out $200K a year approximately, and that would definitely throw them up into that highest tax bracket. And again, a lot of your hard-earned money is going to the state or to the federal government, not to your beneficiaries, not to the people that you want to benefit from it, not to where your hard-earned money should be going. If that makes you nervous, then that's great. If it doesn't make you nervous, that's okay too, right? At the end of the day, you can do whatever you want with your money. The reason I do these videos, the reason I teach these things is so that you can know and make an informed decision and at least talk to your people about what's going on. Oftentimes, people don't even know if they take a one-time distribution that they're going to get hit with a huge income tax bill. They don't know until they get the bill, and then they are surprised. But another part of this video, another part of the thing that I wanted to sort of teach you or talk to you about was strategies that you can employ to help your people make the right decision. And I just had a conversation with this today with a potential client who has a very sizable retirement account about what they could do. And you have a couple of options. Option number one is you could still name that your children, for example, as beneficiaries on that retirement account. When you die, that retirement account is going to be rolled over into what's called an inherited IRA account. Now, downside to that is, in addition to the fact that people can take distributions immediately, they're not going to get the same protections that a regular old retirement account would get, which means basically you can't get into retirement accounts. That's how safe they are. Okay, they're made ultra safe, and that's just because the government wants you, A, to fund those retirement accounts, which is a discussion for another time, but B, they understand that this is money that you're going to try to live off of when you're old, and they want to make it so that the money that you're saving to retire off of doesn't get taken away, and then the government has to sort of fund your living anyway. So the first thing that you can do is you can give that to them as a beneficiary and teach them about the importance of taking the long-term stretch. The reason you want to take the long-term stretch is that A, the money distributed out is lower when you're younger, and B, because it's lower when you're younger, it has the opportunity to grow significantly and sort of fund a second generation retirement, right? If you have $1 million, and right now I'm 39, for example, if I start taking distributions on that, my first distribution is going to be like, 1/40th of, at most probably 1/40th of that entire $1 million. And so, assuming that the growth is just normal, it's gonna grow more than I'm gonna take out this year. Same with next year. Next year is gonna keep growing. It's gonna keep getting bigger, and it will sort of self-fund a retirement for that second generation, which is something that you want. So that's option number one, is you can teach them how to do this. Okay. For some people, that's going to be a great option. For others, that's not. It's going to be a terrible option. Option number two is going to be to create something called an IRA trust. If you create an IRA trust, as you might expect, you are going to then deposit your IRA into that trust when you are gone, and then you are going to lay out that the beneficiaries that are named within that trust are going to be required to take the stretch. You are essentially making the right choice for everyone without having them sort of have to look that money in the face and decide whether or not they're going to delay gratification or take instant gratification, which is something that's very difficult for a lot of people to do, especially today, right? So that second option is an IRA trust. The reason it's called an IRA trust is because to drop a retirement account into a trust takes some very specific language. It takes some very specific provisions. The IRS has some very specific guidelines to allow an IRA to go into a trust and then to take a stretch. The beneficiaries have to be named correctly. Like I said, the language has to be correct. The trustee has to be correct. So there are some details that need to be secured for you to ensure that that IRA trust functions the way that you want. All right, so that's kind of it. That's the gist of it. If this made sense, if you want to talk more about this, if you have more questions, please go to estatemeeting.com. Set up a time to talk with me over the phone or in person. We can talk about your retirement accounts, your estate plan in general, and I can give you some ideas, some strategies, answer any questions that you have, and give you some options for protecting your family, setting up future generations, protecting yourself, doing all that fun stuff. All right, so that's it. I'm Christopher Small with CMS Law Firm. We do estate planning, we do probate, we do it well. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, that's great. Hit the like button below or leave me a comment. Say good job. Keep me going here. Otherwise, stay tuned because I'll probably be here tomorrow with another video talking more estate planning. All right. Again, thanks so much for your time, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.